Afternoon, everybody. Let me start by saying that it's for me a great pleasure to receive Carlo Calenda in Cairo with heading this very large mission of Italian businessmen. In fact, this mission comes to Cairo, as it was said, a few days before the conference, before the Sharm el-Sheikh conference, but also in fulfillment of a promise given in Rome last November when President Sisi was there. So thank you for being here and welcome to you all. Let me very quickly give you a brief on where we are coming from and where we are heading in the management of the Egyptian economy. And let me remind you that back in 2008, the Egyptian economy grew at 7%, but as a result of the financial crisis, and like many other economies, we were put off path. Unfortunately, growth rates were down and were hovering since then between 2 and 3%, which is definitely insufficient to create jobs, and as a result, unemployment increased. Obviously, this situation was exacerbated as a result of the political disturbances that we were witnessed in Egypt starting January 2011, we were faced with a situation of stagnant per capita growth, of ballooning fiscal deficit, and a massive reversal of capital and tourism inflows. The present government has set a plan in order to reform the economy, and this reform is basically based on two pillars. The first pillar aims at the implementation of a fiscal reform in order to reduce the budget deficit to sustainable levels. Let me remind you that the budget deficit back in the year 2012-2013 reached slightly over 13% of the Egyptian GDP. Our plan, our aim, is to reduce this deficit this year to 10%. How? We are trying to reduce this deficit by increasing our revenues, imposing a new tax, which is the value-added tax that will probably be issued before the conference, the implementation of the property tax, and the expansion of the tax base. The idea is to attract, especially SMEs in the informal sector, to get into the formal economy. But also by reducing the wasteful expenses and public expenditures. And you're all aware that back in July, the very courageous and sometimes painful decision to reduce the subsidies was taken. By the way, this is a first step. I mean, the plan is set to try and balance the sales price and the costs within the coming 5 years. The plan for the electricity has been declared, and we are looking at the same thing for oil and oil products. Those decisions will result in a the primary deficit will turn into a surplus by 2016, 2017, and Also, we are hopeful to reduce the percentage of public debt to the GDP from a current 93% to 85% by 2018-2019. The second pillar is the implementation of growth policies for more productive and dynamic economy. The government has proposed and studied and set plans for mega projects. All of you have heard about the Suez Canal Zone Development Project, which is the flagship, as a matter of fact, of our conference. The master plan is finished, and it will be defined, explained, and presented during the conference. It includes not only industrial projects, but also infrastructure projects, including the development of 6 ports around the Suez Canal area, from El Arish to East Port Said itself, Adabiya, Ain Sokhna, and Tor. It includes the construction of 6 tunnels to link the Sinai Peninsula to mainland. It aims at creating a hub, an industrial and a commercial hub, taking advantage of the geographical situation of the Suez Canal at the crossroads between 3 continents. But also, there are other mega projects, including the Golden Triangle, that aims at taking advantage of the very rich region southeast of Egypt, rich in mineral resources, in order to attract mining companies and to add value to the mineral resources by industrializing them, foremost the phosphate and gold and many other mineral resources. We are, in addition to those projects, those mega projects, Egypt presents tremendous opportunities in the industrial sector. We're looking at what we call the industrial sector for the production of white goods, and we have success stories which are really interesting to look at. The success of a company like Samsung that is currently producing televisions out of Egypt, as a matter of fact, out of an industrial zone in Upper Egypt, in Beni Suef, and where the production is being exported all over the world, including to European countries. The example of Electrolux producing white goods in the 10th of Ramadan, and again, it is the production facility out of which European, Arab, and African countries are being supplied with Electrolux products. The chemical sector offers huge opportunities, especially in the realm of petrochemicals and fertilizers. Again, the phosphate-based fertilizer is an obvious opportunity of production out of the Golden Triangle region, but also out of a new industrial zone that is being established and that will be specialized in the production of phosphate-based products, including phosphoric acid. In Sibaiya, this is in south of Egypt, in Aswan. The leather industry, and you Italians know about it since it was partly financed through an Italian source by swapping an Italian debt. The Robeki is a project consisting of a specialized industrial zone for the production of leather and leather industry, and the idea is to attract leather producers from Italy to take advantage, on the one hand, of the available raw material in Egypt, which is the wet blue, but also of the cheap labor, Egyptian labor, extremely well trained in this sector. Obviously, the food and agro industries present tremendous opportunities, and we have huge success stories to show in this regard. Danone, the Fromagerie Belle, and many, the Kellogg's, the Coca-Cola, the Pepsi-Cola, and many others who entered the Egyptian market in this sector and who have scored a tremendous success. There's obviously the cotton and the ready-made garments that do remain to be a very attractive sector, and where Egypt does present competitive and comparative advantages. To this end, in order to attract investments, we are trying to create the adequate climate. Minister Salman is going to talk about the climate, the changes that are currently being made to create the adequate climate to attract investment, including the investment laws, but a lot of other laws are being reviewed, amended, and issued to that end. Finally, we are trying to solve the bottlenecks. And as far as the industry is concerned, I think there are two major bottlenecks. The first one is the obvious energy crunch that we are facing, and everything is being done in order to solve this problem. Investments are pouring in that sector, not only to solve the problem, but also to diversify the sources of energy that unfortunately were and are, up till this very moment, limited to oil and oil products. The government has accepted to use the clean coal in some areas of production, starting by cement production, but we're also trying to develop the new energy and the renewables, solar and wind, and hopefully we will be able to solve that energy crunch very, very soon. First, by importing LNG, liquefied gas, and this will start by the end of the month of March, but then through the development of the new sources of energy, and by adding to the energy production capacity, the existing energy capacity. The second bottleneck was the lack of industrial land, and since 2012 we've been putting infrastructure into the existing industrial zones, and we believe we'll be able to cater for the needs of the investments in the industrial sector. Let me end up my short talk by saying that, in fact, the markets are reacting extremely positively to all the measures that are that have been taken and that are planned to be taken. Let me remind you that the credit rating agencies have reviewed positively upward the credit rating of Egypt. For Fitch, we were upward revised to B. Moody's has changed its outlook for Egypt to stable, and is keeping a very, very close eye on the Egyptian economy, since they are coming again yet again at the end of the month of February. That will be the second time in 6 months. The markets are reading the situation again positively since the CDS, the credit default swap of Egypt was decreased from slightly above 900 to some 260, and I think Mr. Salman will tell you the rest of the story as far as Egypt's credit rating and the stock market and the reading of the markets on the Egyptian economy. Finally, let me draw your attention on the latest IMF report, a very objective report, extremely supportive of the Egyptian economy and supportive of the Egyptian government, since they believe that the vision of this government is able to maximize the available opportunities for the Egyptian economy. Let me tell you that in a nutshell, we are optimistic, we're going to make it, and we are inviting you to make it with us. Thank you.